still remember first when I offered her to do this Khalas song. She was, obviously she was just starting and she wasn't sure whether she should do it or not. Then do you think it's right for me to do it? She asked me. Now that is the height of innocence to ask a filmmaker, But I said, see, there is no guarantee anyone can give. But the point is, since it's the only song which will be promoted, and it is not like a regular item song, it's a very hard-hitting, it has scope for a lot of expressions. And it's the way she says khalas, that is actually the soul of the film. And I think you get a lot of exposure to that. And then she took about maybe 1 or 2 minutes thinking time and said yes. And here we are, after all this time, Isha, I'm so happy about notice of company, khalas. Yeah, now coming to Dhahanam, see, like everyone knows, I have an affinity for crime dramas ever since I started my career. And probably any crime drama I've done has always been set in a city like Mumbai, most of the time, with Satya and company. But the stories which belong to this particular region where this film is based upon has been shot. It's almost like the Wild West in terms of its area, the kind of people, and generally people always have something of the region and terrain rubs off on their personalities, like we all know. So I thought that would be the main difference. And so when I told the story to the MX Creative team, they also were very excited, and that's how the collaboration happened. And to give a brief, like Isha is probably the only person is out of place in this film, in the series, because she comes as an outsider to this region as a police officer, and it is through her eyes kind of the story is unfolded. And so the fact that she can't believe that a land like this exists, and utter lawlessness or whatever it's called. And it's through her, and of course we have a cast, the wonderfully talented Abhishek and Avinash being the main protagonists and antagonists in the film. And Mr. Sayaji Shinde, the first time I still remember, one very senior journalist recommended Sayaji to me for shoot. So when he came to my place, the moment the door opened and he stepped in, I knew this was a great actor. Immediately I said, he is the actor. Then when it started shooting, they were shooting in Bihar, like he was, these guys were there. And from there I'm getting calls. Ramu, we made a mistake, this guy is too melodramatic, he's too over-dramatic, giving complaints on Sayaji. Then I said, now it's already done, what can you do? Try and manage something like that. And then when they came back with the rest, I said, buddy, this guy is the best in the film, what are you talking about? He's literally saved the film. But Sayaji, aapka chehra mein villain hai. I don't know whether, but mostly in real life it will be the opposite. Okay. And then of course, yeah. And Naina is playing a village girl who gets wronged, her family gets killed by some landlords in some atrocity. And later she becomes a Naxalite. So this is briefly about the characters, and yes, the film, the series is very wide. I made so many films, I'm not able to get that out. Yeah. The beauty of a web series, after making so many films for so many years, I've realized, it gives you so much of time to emotionally invest into the characters. It gives you time to explore, and people almost feel that they actually were living with the characters in the journey of the story, which is unraveled. And because of that, when like she managed just now, as she mentioned, 2 seasons, so the characters keep going in and out. So, like I said, Isha is the narrator of the story, and at what point of time she comes into the story is different till that something else happens, and there will be a lot of non-linear aspect to it in terms of how the characters come and go. But I hope and I really think It's going to create a very new visual experience and emotional experience for the people to watch shows. Thank you.
So now I'll introduce the fantastic cast that we have, starting with Sayaji ji, because he's the senior most in our team today. So please, Sayaji ji, please. And thank you for coming in. He had a dubbing session earlier, but he still made it in time. And thank you. Next is the beautiful and charismatic Isha. Can we please request you to come up on stage? Then is Abhishek, who plays our lead. Naina Ganguly, who plays our little Maxilite, very terrifying character, nothing like what she looks today with all of you all. And of course, Abhilash, who plays the negative character. Again, when you look at him, he looks unlike. Can I request, and this is a request to all our other journalist friends, because of the wedding and the festivities that you need to go, we will just break in for a photo op for our photographer friends so that they can take that photograph. And so we'll just reverse the tradition a little bit today because we'd like to respect their time for whatever they're doing. Yeah? So, can I request all the photographers to please take their pictures and then we'll go in for the Q&A session. So, आपकी group solo जो लेना है, आप please अभी लेके. Okay, thank you so much. If the mics are ready to be passed around, yeah. I'll give you one. Yeah. We can have the open Q&A session. So who's the first question coming from?
सागर, अरे भाई, सागर ये बहुत ऊंचा है यार। बहुत पीछे करते हो। आगे अच्छा है भाई। ये पूरा फील्ड में आ रहा है यार। पूरा आ रहा है।
See, the title Dhahanam.
अरे यार क्या अरे आप लोग क्यों चले गए?
So it's primarily a driven story. So obviously you always use this phrase.
थोड़ा पीछे सा डाउन हो जाओ।
So I think
पीछे रहेंगे तो भी चलेगा।
Ram sir, your
Isha, congratulations to you also. You know your combination, like Khalas girl, Ram, launched. How does it feel? Like 20 years of association, and today again on the same platform.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's always a pleasure to work with RGV. He is one of his kind. And you realize this.
I think there's something in between. She's not saying.
And yes, of course, I was launched in Khalas by him. And I was very apprehensive, like he mentioned, and like I mentioned in my earlier interviews, because before Khalas happened to me, I had played only the girl next door kind of roles in the South. And when RGV wanted to shoot with somebody who looked hot, I thought I was most inappropriate for something like that. And it was a revelation for me to see myself like that. I never thought, I remember he showed me the entire song in house in the home theatre. And he said, see, and I said, this is me. It was unbelievable for me because I never thought I could look like that. So RGV, he's always known to do something out of the ordinary. And called me for Dhahanam. I didn't know what it was all about. All I knew was I was talking to RGV after 10 years. And I knew that he had called me, and since he had called me, it would be something worth my while. I don't question him much. I only questioned him once for Khalas. And then it was history. So after that I said I should keep my mouth shut. He just told me that it's a great ongoing series and it's a fab role. And I think you should do it. That's it. So I said, okay, fine. And he just gave me a one-line narrative. And here I am. That was all that there was.
Hi guys, this is Nikita from India Forums. Towards your left. Yeah, so the trailer looks terrific, first of all. My question is to Ram sir, as we say, the content is the king these days. So how is this content all set to rule the OTT kingdom?
I mean, yeah. See, I would say primarily, a story is a story. A story is basically about conflict between characters. But like I mentioned, I think the moment the terrain is different, something which I have not seen, I feel that creates a visual layer which would make the experience feel much more newer than whatever you've done. So to that extent, I think there's no parallel to Dhahanam, especially because of the terrain. You know? So in all these shows, the Indian shows which are there, I just definitely feel, yes, like I said, it's a very violent film, it's to do with revenge. There, on one track, there is something happening between the landlords and Naxalites, and then there is some inter-family rivalry, and between people who don't want to be in violence, they're sucked into violence. So the whole thing is caused by this particular terrain. So for example, Isha is a police officer who comes in, but she only can do so much when they absolutely no respect for law, and on top of that, when pressures come. So this kind of thing probably is being seen in various films or various stories. But I feel the unique experience is the place it is being situated. Yeah.
Also, Isha, as we know that Rohit Shetty cop universe is a complete different thing. But these days, female characters are, nailing the role of cop. So what is your take on that? You have previously also played cop characters, right?
Yeah, I think Isha Koppikar is kind of synonymous with cops. And I don't know what it is, but sometimes I genuinely feel that if I was not an actor, probably I would have been a cop. Well,
I wouldn't mind being caught by a cop like you.
well, so then it also is a part of my surname. I don't mind changing it from K-O-P-P-I to C-O-P-I, K-A-R. So I love playing a cop, and I think it kind of goes with my demeanor. Even in my personal life, I'm kind of a disciplinarian, and I always fight for what is right. Very righteous as well. So I love donning the cop and playing this character. Well, I've done it differently, and here it's very different. Like RGV said, the whole terrain, it's very rural, it's different. A lot of lawlessness in the sense. This character is suddenly placed in an environment where there's a lot of political pressure, and she cannot act the way she would want to. So that kind of is very demoralizing for somebody who already has authority but can't act. And so far and so forth, that's how it is. More than just this, it's the narrative that matters. I start the series, and I actually didn't know this, but a lot of people think I have a very good voice. Especially after this. Yeah, she's like, I really love you and I love your voice. I was like, oh, that's something new. I wasn't aware of that. So, so Sutradar jisko kehte hain, right from the beginning of the series towards the end, I take the story forward, and it's through my point of view, what happens in the lives of the Naxal, the gang lords, or all the characters, much like the Colombian cop in Narcos. So it's woven through all these, the interrelationships between all the characters. So that's what it is. And it's very interesting to play somebody like this, because I think in a whole ensemble of so many male actors, I think we're just two of us. I don't know if I don't know. Because RGV always has a lot of women around him. I don't know how many are here in the series. So here it's only him.
There are a lot of women in the series, but we took care that each woman wouldn't know the presence of the other women.
He's very smartly done.
Hello, hi, this is Monica from Hollywood Strips. And first of all, as Nikita said, the trailer is looking very promising, so congratulations to the entire team. And my question is to Ram Gopal sir again. So sir, you have given us brilliant projects already, especially in this genre, be it Company, Sarkar, and who can forget Satya, of course. So my question is, what different and new is in this story, and was there any pressure considering the fact that this is going to release on an OTT, and OTT audience a bit more critical, as we all know. So, and they don't have to go any far. They are going to compare your project with your previous projects. So, was there any pressure?
See, to start with, I'm not sure this can be comparable to any of the previous crime dramas I've done, like explained, because both the characters and where it is placed and the kind of issues it deals with, like I said, the Naxalites or the landlords, and those kind of things is something I have never dealt with in my past, point one. And point two, like why I'm emphasizing, you see, a story is a story. For example, when I made a Booth, the horror film, probably I was the first one to set it in an apartment. Normally all horror films will be set in a house on a hill or somewhere where you can't, in a forest or something like that. So in middle of an apartment, something is happening. It changes the dynamics of what you think a horror film is about. So I would take a reversal of that in this. In a concrete jungle like Mumbai, to set a Satya, and then to see these vast wastelands, where there's no amenities or no nothing. So they are almost reminiscent of the Wild West, like cowboys in the Western films, 1960s Western films. So I would think that would be the difference. To that extent, I think it cannot be compared, at least to what I've done in this genre before.
Thank you. And Abhishek, you same one, right? Yeah. So you have done some interesting projects like Sultan Pataka, right? So I have a question: how was it working with an amazing director who has already set a benchmark in the genre?
See, for me, it's like dream come true. मैं अपना सपना जी रहा हूँ. मुझे हमेशा से हीरो बनना था फिल्मों में. So here I am just doing my job, enjoying every single thing. Like me sitting here right now and witnessing all of this thing and sharing this stage with Ramu sir, Shinde sir, Isha ji, all of them. Like it's beautiful, and even you guys. मैंने हमेशा सपना देखा था कि यार मैं स्टेज पे होऊंगा और मुझसे पत्रकार जो है दो चार अच्छे से सवाल पूछेंगे. So मैं बड़ा खुश हूँ, और ये वो डायरेक्टर्स हैं, और जब आप इस सपने को जी रहे होते हो और आप बॉम्बे में होते हो एंड यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग द सिनेमा, सो यू स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग ओके नाउ दिस इज वर्क, दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू डू. सो मेरा हमेशा से रामू सर के साथ काम करने का सपना था, और मुझे नहीं लगता कि ऐसा कोई आदमी होगा जिसका नहीं होगा कंपनी और एनी शूट. सो मैं इंतज़ार कर रहा हूँ कब रामू सर डायरेक्ट करेंगे खुद और मुझे वो मौका मिलेगा. सो आई एम स्टिल वेटिंग फॉर दैट, बट थैंक यू वेरी मच सर फॉर गिविंग मी दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी. मैं कई बार बोल चुका हूँ, मेरे लिए इसकी बहुत अहमियत है, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ. थैंक यू वेरी मच. सो पटाखा वाज आल्सो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग विद विशाल सर. इट्स अगेन ऑन द सेम नोट. ही इज आल्सो अ ब्रिलियंट डायरेक्टर. आई एम जस्ट गेटिंग लकी. आई वांट टू बिकम हीरो and I'm becoming it every single day. So my whole process is I'm learning and I'm working hard. Please आप लोग आशीर्वाद दीजिए जरूर. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Ramu, my question to you, Ramu. My question
Yes.
to you is like he's saying he wants to work with you as a director. Why did you not direct this?
Yeah. See, I think the approach to a series or web series, I feel, is very different from how a feature film happens, because of the amount of number of episodes or the length of footage, unlike a 2-hour film. Direction is eventually about taking decisions of the story, of where it should be shot, and the characterizations, design of the character, and the casting and the look and everything. For instance, many people are not aware that Narcos has 19 directors, not one. The showrunner will be just one. And it's not even the episode is shot, each episode is shot by. It is one track, because that is equivalent of what I would say an architect's design of a certain scale model and structural drawings, and then the contractors will start building. they are approaching the local problems in terms of practical problems, but they more or less are obligated to carry the design, which is they cannot go beyond. So I think to zoom out and see from the top of all the departments, not getting directly involved, gives you a certain new way of constructing a project. So which is the reason I decided to use others here.
And why did you choose to debut with MX as a producer?
I mean, because I really connected to the creative team at Karan Bedi and Mansi Srivastava and Parag when I first met them. Of course, when I told the story, they were very excited, and I like them as people, and I like the respect they have for creative people to give them enough freedom to see that it comes out the best. So I think as people I connected, and of course as a company, and here I am. Yeah.
Hi everyone, a very warm welcome. I'm Namita Sachdev from Punjab Kesari Group. My question goes to you, Ram sir. Is Dhahanam inspired from two events?
See, I would say, the point is, I personally think there's no such thing as a true event, because we can't find truth even not in a present day, what exactly is true. I'm just giving an example. See, for example, till today, we really don't know what happened to Sushant Singh. We just only had theories. Now, something which happened 30 years back or 40 years back, I can't say that. So, fundamentally what happens is there are many such stories which happen in that region, which is interior Andhra Pradesh. I've been hearing them from my childhood about legends and the revenge stories and all that. So, I picked up a lot of them and put it in fictionally. So, it's not necessary if this incident would have happened in this guy's story. It comes from someone else. So, for practical purposes, it is being shown to people who do not know the story. So yes, I would say partly inspired, but it's not a true story. I don't know if I was confusing enough.
Not at all, confusing. My another question goes to you, sir. Like Isha said, that you always bring out extraordinary out of the ordinary. May I ask you, how do you go on conceiving your stories?
I mean, most of the time, when I do my research, when I meet the actual people involved, I felt more than writers, the people who experience that would have an understanding of it. I get the emotional context from there. So I get shocked when someone tells me about for how long. In cinema, usually, because it's a screenplay and we have limited time, and it moves very fast. But in real life, there are people who take revenge after waiting for 3 years and 4 years, waiting for the right time or due to various other factors. So and there's a line in Godfather, revenge stays best when it is full blood. So I think a person who's living the experience, what he tells me, for me that is the basis of the story for me. And I try my best to capture that aspect. Then that is also going to influence the actor who's performing his body language and how he talks, and all of that comes from that. I mean, since you haven't seen this, I can't take an example from Dhahanam. But to answer your question, as far as Satya is concerned, my primary thing was, when I was in Bombay, I suddenly heard of Mr. Gulshan Kumar being shot and killed. I was with producer Jammu Suran at that time, when we got the news. So Jammu Suran started telling me, he called me at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I was supposed to meet at 10, and then he went to this place. And so whenever someone meets with a violent death, like an accident or a murder, we tend to kind of roll back what he's been up to. Then a thought occurred to me, if Gulshanji woke up at 7 o'clock, what time did the killer wake up? We never think of it. So did he tell his mom to put the alarm clock to wake him up at 5 to prepare? Did he have his breakfast before killing or after killing? So the moment I think of him as a human being, it suddenly looks like I thought about it. We only hear about them either when they kill or when they die. So what do they do in between? So that for me was the start point of Satya. So that is what brings the human out, and then the crimes they do looks even more believable because as people they're believable. So that's my answer.
Thank you so much, sir. My next question goes to you, Isha. One more question, please.
His answers are fab. I hope you all understand.
Definitely, yes, absolutely. He always gives interesting answers, and that's the way he is, I believe. Isha, I want to ask you, like, your fans want to see you more often, but of late, they don't get to see you more often. So what is the reason behind that?
Well, the thing is, now that there's OTT and now it's more content driven, and now it's more about, I think a lot of actors, they're getting a good and a fair chance to act. For me, it's not just about running around trees and just working for the sake of working, to be very honest. I have a lot on my plate. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a startup of my own, which is in the hospitality industry. Also, I do a lot of, I'm trying my hand in politics as well. So,
wow!
Amazing. That deserves a clap, actually.
So, I mean, of course, I'm not going to stand for elections and all of that, RG, but yeah, I'm taking care of the ladies' transport wing in BJP. So, yeah, for now. So then, and of course, I have a daughter, I have a husband, he's into the hospitality business, he's a hotelier. So then I said that काम करने के लिए मतलब कुछ अच्छा हो. ऐसे, I got a lot of scripts. I was working after, in fact, Rihanna was just 3 months old. Since then I've been working, but I've been working in the South, not here. I think South has understood my value much more than Bollywood has. Is it? Probably. So yeah, they welcomed me even in the beginning. In the beginning of my career, the first film that I did down in Tamil, I got a Filmfare Award for that. I did a lot of great films in the South. And now, yes, now again, my South Indian director. So I don't know, it's something, it's some connection that I have with the South. So you'll see me much more. I have about 5 projects this year, out of which 3 are web OTTs, web shows, and the 2 films. So you'll see me a lot. And they're really, each one is different.
You would love to hear.
Yeah, one I'm a cop, one I'm something else, one I'm something else. So it's great, you know, a good platter. You'll see a nice, it's a good buffet of me.
I'm mouth watery already.
Yes, thank you.
Abhishek, my next question goes to you. Like, you get to learn so many things when you play some new characters. This is one very different character we are seeing you into. So what did you unlearn for that?
I guess nothing. I already had this thing in me, like I'm so desi, I'm from Haryana, I'm from village, you know, I have like seen it all, like the normal life where you don't have anything at all, but the nature is with you all the time. So it doesn't matter if it's too hot, you find it really, you just lie down there, enjoy the breeze. And that's exactly what I did on set. And but the most important part, I would like to say, is my whole team was prepared very, very well. Like my director Manju Agastya, the assistant directors, and everybody costume. So I just went there and they did some changes, they made some changes, you know, cut my hair short, this, that, gave me costumes. 15 दिन तक हमारे कपड़े नहीं धुलते थे सर. स्पेशल मंजू सर बोलते थे नहीं, जब तक तुमको इसमें से स्मेल नहीं आएगी तब तक तुम नहीं कोई जो भी कैरेक्टर है. So being in Naxalites, you see, I don't know क्या होता है. But as human, as whatever we have experienced so far, we can understand that you are running for something and from something. So that's what I was doing, and that's what gave me the motivation. And as an actor, I really enjoyed it. So nothing to unlearn, but everything to learn. Thank you.
Very nice, wonderful. Thank you. मुझे लगता है बाकी लोग पकड़ के मारेंगे क्वेश्चन ये लो.
आपने पहले भी काम किया है राम जी के साथ और इस सीरीज में आप काम कर रहे हो. Just wanted to know something about your character. और आप साउथ में बहुत सारा काम किया. Language, like you know, what language is being used in this in Naxalites? क्या language use कर रहे हैं?
मतलब कम्युनिकेशन के लिए लैंग्वेज होते हैं ना.
नक्सलाइट और कौन सा लैंग्वेज यूज करते हैं कम्युनिकेशन के लिए?
कौन सी वाली
नहीं तेलुगु करते हैं, कोई भी लैंग्वेज हो तो मैं मानता हूँ कि मदर टंग इज द बेस्ट लैंग्वेज इन द वर्ल्ड. तो जो भी अपना मदर टंग है उसमें वो बाकी का लैंग्वेज लिख के.
I just want to add one thing. You know, Saji has done a lot of very big super hit Telugu films. Yeah. And people love his voice because of the accent he speaks Telugu from Marathi, like the Marathi accented Telugu. So now if you ask what language Saji speaks, I don't know. That becomes individualistic.
And in the overall the film also was talking about,
yeah, I mean, yeah, correct. So also Saji is not playing a Naxalite, incidentally. He's playing a landlord. But I agree with what he said. See, the point is everyone, like I'm from Hyderabad, for example, maybe Naina is from Bengal, Isha is from somewhere. All of us will have a picture, that is what it operates. I think to completely fine tune, this is the language of the film, I think it's actually fake to include it in other. So like Isha is coming into Dhahanam from some other space. The local dialect could be different. So I think that's how it is.
Sir, to the character one and the other actors also, like to speak, something on your character.
Hi everyone. So मेरा जो कैरेक्टर है एक विलेज गर्ल थी जो बहुत ही इनोसेंट है, उसका फैमिली होता है बट समटाइम उनके फैमिली को मार डालता है. उसके बाद वो लड़की नक्सलाइट बन जाती है. फिर वहाँ से मेरा जर्नी स्टार्ट होता है. मेरा कैरेक्टर है मैं पवनी. सो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि जिस लोकेशन पे हम लोगों ने शूटिंग किया है ऑल एक्टर इतना गर्मी था और इतना टफ जॉब था. ओह माय गॉड, मतलब हम लोगों ने एक्सपीरियंस किया इसलिए हम लोग बता रहे हैं. आप लोग को आइडिया भी नहीं होगा कि इतना गर्मी था और जो डे शूट हो रहा था, नाइट शूट हो रहा था, होल नाइट, फिर उसके बाद नेक्स्ट डे शूटिंग. सो वैसे लोकेशन पे शूटिंग करना टफ था और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि दहनम हम लोग जो भी हम लोगों ने एक्टिंग किया है ऐसा कैरेक्टर मिलना बहुत मुश्किल है. मतलब एज अ एक्टर आई थिंक मैं बहुत लकी हूँ कि ऐसे स्ट्रॉन्ग कैरेक्टर मुझे मिला है. मैंने अपना एक्टिंग परफॉर्मेंस दिखाने का चांस मिला है. सो दहनम मेरे लिए बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग कैरेक्टर है.
हाय, गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन. मैं MX ओरिजिनल सीरीज दहानम में जो कैरेक्टर प्ले कर रहा हूँ उसका नाम ओबुल रेड्डी है. और जैसा कि आप लोगों ने विजुअल्स में देखा है, ये लाइक इट्स वेरी ब्रूटल और खतरनाक काइंड ऑफ कैरेक्टर इट इज. सो पहले तो सबसे पहले थैंक्स टू RGV सर मुझे ये अपॉर्चुनिटी देने के लिए. और दिस इज माय लाइक सेकंड कंसेक्यूटिव वर्क विद सर. और थैंक्स टू MX ऑल्सो, थैंक यू सो मच. और आई होप के 14 को जब ये सीरीज रिलीज होगी तो ये कैरेक्टर और पूरा सीरीज आप लोगों को पसंद आए. सो इसी उम्मीद हम रखते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच.
और मेरे को भी तो थैंक यू बोलो, मैंने कितनी हेल्प की.
थैंक यू डार्लिंग, थैंक यू.
I just want to tell you something, answering your question about, yeah. His character is actually based on true character, yeah. And I want to just share a couple of things about him. The first time they told me about him, they said, because he had a reputation, a really violent and really dangerous reputation. So I met a friend of his, the original Nobility friend. Nobility was killed incidentally in 1995, no? So I asked him, was he really that bad a guy? He said, no, it's not really, not as much as what people think. So how many people do you think he would have killed? I mean, maximum 200, you know? Okay. And he said, what do you mean is not that bad a guy? So he said, because see, people think it's more 400 and 500, not that much, only 200, he said. So that is the measurement factor. So they said he is a guy who's actually very nice guy when he's not drunk, but he's all the time drunk. And apparently he starts drinking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then goes on and then wakes up at 12. So between 12 and 2 is okay. Yeah.
What about the hangover? What about the hangover? Between 12 and 2. So how much did he enjoy playing the character of a drunk man?
I see, Abhilash is one of the biggest mistakes. He looks so menacing on screen and he's like a soft, you won't think he's like a little kid when he's outside. So I don't know whether he's hiding the actual person inside and acting. So I don't know if this is the actor or that is the actor.
Naina and Abhishek,
मेरा जमींदार का कैरेक्टर है, बच्चे लोग हैं मेरा, मतलब वो क्या है कि इगोइस्टिक पर्सन है, उसको इंसल्ट नहीं चलता है, उसको मतलब पनिशमेंट करना है तो उसको पूरे खानदान को पनिशमेंट करना है, इस टाइप का जनरल इनोसेंट आदमी है। अभिलाष जैसा डेंजरस पर्सन को जन्म देने वाले आप इनोसेंट कैसे हो सकते?
Naina and Abhishek, my question is to you. So, what is that one aspect about this crime thriller that is bound to captivate the audience?
Sorry, come again?
That one aspect about this series that is bound to captivate the audience.
See, फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि ये जो पूरा बैकड्रॉप है, ये जो पूरा स्टार्ट टू एंड जो स्टोरी है ना, दिस इज लाइक वेरी डिफरेंट जो अभी तक आज तक जो फिल्में जो बनी है या फिर आपका जो कंटेंट अभी तक जितने भी ओटीटी पे अभी तक जो कंटेंट आए हैं। तो फर्स्ट टाइम जब मुझे ये नरेट किया गया स्टोरी और मेरा कैरेक्टर जो मुझे बताया गया, तो आई फील लाइक इट इज वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट, नॉट लाइक मतलब कुछ थोड़ा बहुत नहीं, बट मुझे बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग लगा और इन टर्म्स ऑफ एवरी कैरेक्टर। सो और आज की डेट में अगर मैं बताऊँ तो जितने भी टॉप ओटीटी हैं उनमें एमएक्स जो है वो टॉप में है, जो टॉप के ओटीटीज हैं उनमें है, और आप ट्रस्ट कर सकते हैं उस ओटीटी पे, क्योंकि जो अभी आज की डेट में कंटेंट आ रहे हैं और लोग पसंद भी कर रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने ये स्टोरी को चूज़ किया है और हम बहुत खुश है कि हाँ एमएक्स ने उन्होंने हमारे इस कंटेंट को, हमारे इस प्रोडक्ट को चूज़ किया। और मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि ये कंटेंट जैसे कि हमें काम करने में मज़ा आया, सबको पूरी यूनिट को काम करने में मज़ा आया, सारे एक्टर्स को काम करने में मज़ा आया, और मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आप सभी लोगों को भी जब आप देखेंगे तो वो चीज़ फाइनली दिख जाएगी कि हाँ दिस इज समथिंग रियली नाइस।
मैं फर्स्ट थैंक यू बताऊंगी आरजीवी सर को कि सर आपने मुझे बंगा बेटी से लॉन्च किया है। सो सर का ऑलवेज प्रोजेक्ट ऑलवेज मतलब चैलेंजिंग कैरेक्टर होता है, मतलब कुछ भी कैरेक्टर दिया जाता है ऐसा लगता है कि ओ माय गॉड मैं कर सकती हूँ या नहीं, मतलब ऑलवेज मतलब टैन मेकअप हो या ग्लैमरस कुछ भी। सो जब सर ने मुझे ये कैरेक्टर बताया तो मुझे लगा मैं नहीं कर सकती हूँ, बट ऑफकोर्स सर को पता चल जाता है कि कौन कैसा कैरेक्टर में प्ले कर सकता है। आई डोंट नो, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं है कि मैं क्या क्या कैरेक्टर कर सकती हूँ, बट हाँ सर को मेरे ऊपर बिलीव था और मेरे लिए भी बहुत चैलेंज था कि ऐसे कैरेक्टर मतलब मैं परफॉर्म करूँ, बिकॉज फुल चेंज लुक। लेकिन एज ए एक्टर मुझे लगता है कि जब हम लोग कॉस्ट्यूम मेकअप कर लेते तो उस लाइफ को हम लोग कुछ दिन के लिए जीते हैं। सो वैसे लोकेशन वैसे, और ये दहानम ऐसा सीरीज है कि लोग पसंद करेगा क्योंकि लोगों को ऐसा स्टोरीज पसंद आता है, वेब सीरीज। एंड मैं एक चीज़ बताऊंगी कि ईशा मैम मुझे आपका वॉइस बहुत पसंद है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक अलग पर्सनालिटी है। तो एंड सर आपका एक्टिंग तो वाओ। एंड ऑफकोर्स अभिलाष एंड अभिषेक, मतलब ये लोग जितना रियल लाइफ में एंजॉय करता है बट जब शूटिंग स्टार्ट होता है तो ऐसा लगता है कि ओ माय गॉड। सो यहाँ पे ज्यादातर बॉयज ही है इस सीरीज में।
Of course, Khalas. Oh. Of course, ma'am. Yeah. Of course. मतलब मुझे अलग से बोलना नहीं है मैम का एक्टिंग, डांस, एटीट्यूड, सब कुछ वाओ.
आप कश्मीरा शाह के जंगल में कश्मीरा जंगल में शी was थोड़ा the role that role, yeah. Whose role? That was something different about it.
Hi, Sharma, this side from Bollywood. Well, मेरा सवाल सयाजी सर से है. Sir, when you work with the set of actors, जहाँ पर कुछ newcomers हो या कम experienced actors हो या फिर experienced actor हो, मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगी, being an excellent actor and an experienced person, क्या डिफरेंस देखते हैं न्यू जनरेशन में जो आज के ज़माने की पीढ़ी है उनके काम करने के तरीके में?
मैं बेसिकली पहले डायरेक्टर को फॉलो करता हूँ. डायरेक्टर के दिमाग में क्या है, मतलब शूल को हम लोग मिले थे तो पहली बार जब नैरेट कर रहे थे तो मैं पेन पेपर लेके बैठा था और हर एक सीन में कैसा कैसा उनको चाहते थे मैं लेके बैठा था. अभी भी मैं समझो अराउंड 500 की फिल्म किया होगा तो आज भी मैं लिखता हूँ और ये करता हूँ. और मैं को आर्टिस्ट के बारे में हमेशा चाहता हूँ कि उनका अच्छा होने, मेरा तो पक्का होने वाला है अच्छा. तो मैं मुझे मानना है कि मैं सबको साथ अच्छा रहूँ और अच्छा करूँ. और बहुत टैलेंटेड लोग आजकल बहुत सीरीज फिल्म्स आ रहे हैं, तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि ये ज़माना वो ज़माना. सब लोग जो जेन्युइन होते हैं, जो अच्छे होते हैं, वो आगे आते हैं और काम करते हैं.
मैं राम सर आपसे ये पूछना चाहूँगी कि आपने कहा है कहीं पर कि OTT इज़ अ प्लेटफॉर्म जहाँ पे किरदार को हम अच्छी तरीके से पेश कर सकते हैं, डिटेल में बता सकते हैं, ना कि फिल्म्स में क्योंकि टाइम लिमिट होती है उसकी वजह से कहीं ना कहीं जो कमी रह जाती है वो OTT में हम पूरी कर सकते हैं. पर इस पर्टिकुलर शो की अगर मैं बात करूं तो कौन सा वो कैरेक्टर है जिसको आप डिटेल में दिखाना चाहते थे और कामयाब हो पाए हैं दिखाने में?
See, Dhahanam is because it has got lot of characters. मैं समझता हूँ कम से कम एटलीस्ट 10 से 15 कैरेक्टर्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है स्टोरी के हिसाब से. एंड दे कम फ्रॉम वेरियस फेजेस. सी, पहली बार मैं दो एक्टर्स को कंपेयर करने से आई डिसएग्री विद द कॉन्सेप्ट फॉर द रीजन बिकॉज ईच एक्टर इज प्लेइंग द कैरेक्टर एंड द कैरेक्टर इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ द स्टोरी. So the length might be a little length might be more. That is not the point. Impact is the point. Finally, So all of them, I feel the success of any OTT, which is very difficult to, achieve in a feature film. You will remember the character. For example, the best show I think ever produced in the world is Narcos. I must have seen it 7 years back or something like that. I remember every character, no matter it is not the protagonist Pablo Escobar, So I feel they look like real people who really lived at certain time. And I think that is the intention which we try to capture in Dhahanam.
Okay. Isha, lastly, आपसे ये पूछना चाहूँगी कि as you said in the starting of press conference, मैंने खलास के टाइम पे अपने आप को hot नहीं समझती थी. Have your perspectives changed now? अभी आप अपने आप को hot समझती हैं?
मेरे समझने से ना समझने से क्या होगा? आप बोलो.
हम तो समझते हैं बिल्कुल, लेकिन आप बताएं हमें.
देखिए, एक एक्टर वही होता है जो अलग अलग किरदार अदा कर सके. मुझे मज़ा तब आता है मज़ा तब आया जब मैंने शबरी की थी. एंड RGV had only presented it and he was shocked at the way I looked. और उस फिल्म के लिए मुझे बहुत क्रिटिकल एक्लेम भी मिला था. तब मज़ा आता है जब लोग आपको एक सर्टेन तरीके से समझते हैं, जानते हैं, and then you shock them. I think challenge is what really excites me and that is what causes a change. Hot तो मैं हुई, अभी मतलब I don't mean it in a very narcissist way, but लेकिन मज़ा तब आता है जब मैं अलग अलग चीज़ें कर सकूं. Thank you so much. Thank you.
end the session, Q&A session. We have the group bikes, so if you can come in front, all those who want to group bike, can you come in front?